As we look at the 400-year-old mistranslated European King James Bible lie, we must first put the cards on the table as to who is talking about the GIZASPHINX line of the tribe of Judah, the black man face upon a lion's body, in which we currently see in front of the northeast African continent Giza pyramid. This would be Europe. Now, according to the mistranslated King James Bible lie, written by Europeans or the Caucasian in the Caucasus Mountain area in the North Pole of the blue basketball-shaped earth, we're looking at King James 400 years ago in the 16th century, appointing 72 Greek and Hebrew scholars to travel to Judea and Jerusalem. Now, for some of you Bible thumpers in America, you're reading European rendition of ancient Africa. And when they talk about Israel in ancient Egypt, you're still reading in America a European King James rendition of the actual occurrence in ancient Egypt. So when we look at Shem, Ham, and Japheth, we're looking at what the Europeans term Ham as all the inhabitants on the African continent, black-skinned children of Ham. Now what they refer to as Shem, S-H-E-M, is all of the Caucasian or European-faced Shemites. Okay, so we're talking about everybody in Europe. We got Rome in Europe, we have Greece in Europe, and we have Rome and Greece, and we have all of the Europeans that was attacking ancient Africa. You go back in time 4,000 years ago, the black people in Egypt and Babylon was calling the white man the people of the sea. Another word for it is the Philistines, which means
white man is your
the sea people.
creator or God.
In order to get to Africa, you need a boat to travel from Europe across the water into Egypt. It just so happens that Crete and Cyprus are also at the northern edge of Egypt or Africa. So look at the globe map, and then you would say, okay, so what we're talking about is Shemites, which the Bible refers to as the white man. So what the white man did in England in the 16th century, called King James, he tried to tell us a different story about ancient Egypt. So this is the Bible lie. I call it the European false man-based Lord God word religion lie. Because ancient Africa is referred to as the kingdom of Ham, and the ancient kingdoms in Africa or upon Africa would be Egypt, Babylon. You said, oh, wait a minute, I didn't know Babylon was a part of Africa. This is where the white man did the three-card Molly trick in geography upon Afro-Americans in the neighborhood churches. So if you go to your history class, 8th grade, high school, or college, and open up the book, they're going to tell you that Jerusalem is not in Africa, which is another white man's lie. You say, okay, so what is the white man called King James lying about in the English King James Bible, in which millions upon millions of Afro-Americans are seen reading that Bible in their Afro-American churches? What they're lying about, what the European Gentile nations in the 16th century, with the pen in their hand, they lied about the African continent civilization of Ham, since everybody upon the African continent is referred to as Ham. You see, so now break it down. Okay, what the white man did was take you back to a time when pharaohs, black people, or the children of Ham in Egypt and Babylon was arresting white Philistines. You said, oh, so remember, if you put the Greeks, the Romans, and the Philistines in one big bag, you throw them back to Europe. So what the Bible calls Shem, Ham, and Japheth, Ham is the black people upon the African continent. Shem is the European civilizations, okay, white people from Europe. And then Japheth, J-A-P-E-T-H, is the Asian civilization, all the big, thick-nosed Chinese and Japanese people. So you say, okay, so break it down. Well, what the white man going to do is tell you that Noah had 3 sons. And Afro-Americans that graduated from high school is believing this European King James Bible lie. You say, break it down. Okay, check this out. We had that the descendants of Ham, according to the ancient Babylonian cuneiform records, since black people, ancient kingdoms were Egypt and Babylon. So we had the cuneiform records of the ancient black man in Babylon along the stone step pyramid temple ruins in ancient Iraq, in Iraq, which is the modern era of Babylon. And what is this black man telling us? That an extraterrestrial created a black-skinned Adamu being by mixing their blood with clay. And then these extraterrestrials were going above the atmosphere in glowing circle of wheeling and were like UFOs. And that's what the black man, the children of Ham, is telling you. Since everybody upon the African continent is referred to as H-A-M, or Hamites. Ham. So what the white man is telling you is that a white man called Jesus and Jehovah created African Adam and Eve. So you're going to believe the black people in Babylon or Egypt, or you're going to believe the Caucasian European Shemite lie. So when we go back and say, okay, so the real deal is that Noah did not have 3 sons, but that's what the white man is telling us in the King James Bible. In order to place the white man up on the African continent, they're going to lie and say Noah had 3 sons. That means his one wife on the boat, remember, everybody was went into the boat to survive Noah's flood, which is where it's connected to an astronomical event. Like the moon is an astronomical body that comes close to the earth and causes evening and morning tides. If you fill a basketball up halfway to water, a big basketball, and hold it with both hands, if you move forward, the water moves forward across the equatorial plane of the basketball. You move backwards, the water shifts back. So that's evening and morning tides, y'all. It's caused by an astronomical body in the outer space area of heaven where the sun appeared to stand still. So Noah's flood washed over the entire surface of planet Earth, and it separated what we call the eastern coastline of Africa. So you take a look at the African continent in my video. You say, okay, now what? Now look at it. Where I call it A and B. So what the Bible called Jerusalem and Judea, it's on the right side of the eastern coastline of Africa today, after Noah's flood. Before Noah's flood, we had Judea and Jerusalem at the top of the V-shaped piece of land, Iraq and Babylon in the middle, and Arabia at the bottom. See, so what gives? Well, remember, what we call Judea and Jerusalem, it's separated from the eastern coastline of the African continent. Now look at that Euphrates River separating Africa from Judea and Jerusalem. You say, oh, that red triangle is what Judea and Jerusalem is. That's right. So you say, okay, so they didn't teach me this in high school or Sunday school. That the white man or the English book writers in Europe and the American government in your high school and college, they giving you books with incorrect geographical and theological historical data. You say, why? Because during the flood of Noah, the eastern coastline of Africa separated into what we call the V-shaped piece of land. Now remember, if you look at the map, the black man face on the lion's body is at the northern edge of Africa. Look at it. And you can see it with satellite imagery, the land forming a royal Egyptian headdress, a Sphinx 11. So that's the black man face in northern Africa, as you see northern Africa from outer space with satellite imagery. I call it the African Sphinx 11. But that Sphinx 11 has a royal Egyptian headdress, which is the edge of the Euphrates River. You say, okay, now we're looking at the satellite image of North Africa. So where is Judea and Jerusalem? So if you draw a line going east across the Euphrates River, that thin strip of water that separates Africa from the V-shaped piece of land, they call it the Middle East. A line going straight east from Sphinx 11, royal Egyptian headdress, intersects the Judean desert. And in that desert, we have the so-called biblical caves of Jethro, where Moses fled in Midian Arabia. Then we have the Judean desert. And then we have Ezra 1:3. You say, okay, so wait a minute. Ezra 1:3 said, let us go up to Jerusalem, which is located in the land of Judah. It do not say located in Israel. So how come we're reading the word Israel in our Afro-American Bibles? So you tell that to an educated Afro-American minister and preacher, they're going to look at you and scratch their head and say, Israel is there because, no, Israel is not there because it's there because the white man placed it there. You say, so what is there? Notice, if you take the A and B, look at the red A and B. I call Africa the A and the V-shaped piece of land where Jerusalem and Judea is at, I call it to be. So you say, well, what happened? Well, squeeze the V-shaped piece of land back to the eastern coastline of Africa. Now we're in the time period before the flood of Noah, where the black man facing the lion's body was spoken of in the book of Genesis, the first book in the English King James Bible. So in the book of Genesis 49:8, it speaks of the couching Ethiopian lion sphinx of the tribe of Judah. It's couching down as a lion and as an old lion, and that all thy father's children shall bow down unto thee. We remember now, the white man tried to give us Jacob as the father of all of humanity, or Noah as the father of all humanity. Notice how they talk about the three sons of Noah after the flood. But they say, wait a minute, I don't want to hear what the white man's telling me after the flood, because that's when the white people started coming in boats from Europe and getting up on the shores of Egypt, Ethiopia, Africa, Judea, and Jerusalem. They call them Philistines or Greeks and Romans, ancient Egyptians then. They call these white people by their true names, the children of Shem. So when the children of Shem invaded the Judea and Jerusalem, they was invading the African continent civilization of Ham. Now remember, if you look at Africa, we're looking at the black man facing the lion's body in Egypt. Then that's the biblical lion sphinx of the tribe of Judah. But if we go east across the desert from Egypt, the Egyptian pyramids, we're going straight east across the Euphrates River. That line intersects the Judean desert, y'all. So for Afro-Americans talking about Israel, tell them to shut up and sit down. Why would the white man place Israel in the English King James Bible and say that these are the chosen people of the alien creative man? Now they don't want to tell you it was an alien group of alien species that created the first elongated-headed African Adam, or Adamu in Babylon. They're going to tell you a white man created you to make you serve them, okay? And say Lord, just like in England they say Lord Duke or Lord Sir William. So in the Bible you saying Lord Jesus, you still talking about a white man as your creator or God or master. So all that Lord crap flushing down the toilet stool. Because the black people, the children of Ham that started Egypt and the civilization of Babylon, okay, they had an ancient 6-point star. As you see it right here, you say, okay, oh, I see it now. I see a 6-point star with a central sun circle. I refer to it as the one, the sun circle, one. As you're looking at it, you say, so before Africa, A, separated into B, we had Judea and Jerusalem at the northern edge of the African continent, whereas Judea was a part of the Euphrates River, right side of the road Egyptian headdress of the Sphinx 11. You say, well, man, that's an astronomical or geographical or theological based discovery.